What's up, everybody? That's right, it's another college football Saturday. Rooster will miss the early games. I am headed off to do a Veterans Day parade today. Always need to appreciate and celebrate our veterans here in the U.S. But anyway, I want to talk about this rumor about Lanorris Sellers and maybe hitting the transfer portal, going to Miami. The Todd McShay talking about Lanorris Sellers needing another year in college football. Miami loves to buy quarterbacks, which really, how does that work? I mean, Cam Ward, I guess you could say. But I want to talk about something a little bit deeper in that, and it's about cultural fits. And we hear it all the time in the coaching circles, right? When Brian Kelly got hired at LSU, is he a cultural fit for what they do? I've heard Gamecock fans say, you know, when it's rumored, does Beamer keep his job? What kind of coach? It needs to be a cultural fit. I don't know if anybody knows the difference between a Florence, South Carolina, a Columbia, South Carolina, and a Miami, Florida. So as someone that lives in the state of Florida, and I do construction work, and I travel around the whole state of Florida. If there's a city in Florida, I've worked in it, I can promise you. From Jacksonville to Orlando to Tampa to Tallahassee to Miami to West Palm Beach to Boca Raton, the whole southeast area of Florida. Believe me, I've been there, done that, and don't like to go down there. It's probably my least favorite place to have to go work is anywhere near Miami, Florida. Miami, Florida is not even, like, down here in Florida, we don't consider Miami really part of Florida. It's kind of like California. It's its own little country that sits down there by itself because the culture is so different in Miami than it is anywhere else in the state of Florida. And anybody that lives in Florida will tell you the same thing. It's just different. Now, I know people say, well, these kids can adapt. Lanorris Sellers is young. He could go to Miami. He could adapt. Would he want to? Here's the thing. If you grow up in the country, you love the country. I every day love the country. That's why I live kind of close to the Everglades. I'm in the sugar canes and the Everglades and all the stuff kind of out in the country. Got a lot of cattle farms, citrus farms, sod farms. I don't live anywhere near a city anymore, and I lived in Fort Myers, close to the beach. And the reason I bailed out of there and we moved out of there, my wife and I, was because of all the traffic and the people, and no one gives a shit about anybody down here. Where Lanorris Sellers at South Carolina will always be a hometown hero guy, right? He's always going to be known at South Carolina. Hey, Lanorris Sellers, no matter what, you made some history at South Carolina. Everyone's going to love you. You're never going to have to worry about anything. Even if you go pro, your NFL career don't work out, you will always be celebrated at South Carolina. If you go to Miami, you're just going to get washed into all the legends of Miami. You know, the convicts, they called them back in the day. The Michael Irvins and the big names, the Warren Sapps, and all the guys that played for Miami, the historic Miami teams anyway. You just gonna be another name on the board, brother. I don't know what to tell you, but you would just be another name on the board. Secondly, who wants to go to a school? Now, I get it if the money's worth it. Miami's willing to throw him what would probably be overpay, because we saw, everybody thinks, well, Carson Peck wanted to go to Miami. No, he didn't. He wanted to go back to Georgia, but he said he was going pro. He changed his mind. By that time, Georgia done spent all their money on wide receivers. Georgia. Yeah, Georgia spent all their money in getting Branch and all these wide receivers in. They couldn't take Carson Peck back. They didn't have the money that he wanted. Everybody thinks these NIL deals are just open checkbooks, and they're not. It counts against something, right? Everybody's getting paid millions of dollars anymore. If you want to go to Miami and you want to wash your name out, go ahead, do it. You're not going to be considered the legend. You're going to be considered at South Carolina, and that's my plea to Lanorris Sellers, so he understands. And the major cultural difference you're going to run into in Miami versus South Carolina, let's just say a game day, a home game, you get dressed in one spot, you get on a bus, you go to Hard Rock Stadium, which isn't close. It's not really that close to the University of Miami. So you got to take a bus to the stadium. You're going to walk in a stadium to about 10,000 fans. You're not walking into Williams-Brice Stadium where you got 70,000 maniacs in the stand waving white towels, playing Sandstorm. That is not the environment that the Miami Hurricanes bring on college football day. Miami is a pro sport town. Another difference that a lot of people don't think about when you go down there. It is a pro sport town. It is about the Dolphins. It is about the Heat. It is about the Marlins. It is not about college football. The state of Florida, I'm telling you right now, Miami does not have the fans in Florida that people think they would have. They don't. Maybe in that little small area down there. I'm telling you, the vast majority, I've been here for 15 years of my life. The vast majority of the fans in the state of Florida are Florida Gators or Florida State Seminoles. And then the fastest growing university as far as enrollment is UCF. But a lot of those people are not college football fans either, y'all. A lot of those people there's a lot of foreign people that come to UCF. USF right now has got some popularity to it because of what Alex Golish is doing. But as far as an environment to a football game, the closest thing Lanorris Sellers could ever find to South Carolina and the state of Florida would be the Gators. Now, Lanorris is not going to go to Gators. The Gators are not going to offer that kind of money. They're looking for a coach. They got to put their money and invest in a coach. They have Lagway there if they keep him. Lagway's kind of going through some of the same things that Lanorris did as far as just play calling and stuff. I think the kid's got some talent. Has it shown up every football game? No. He's made a lot of mistakes in throwing interceptions. But anyway, this ain't a Gator video. But that's kind of the breakdown of Florida. Just look at the cultural difference between a Miami and a South Carolina. South Carolina, you will definitely go down. Just think about guys like Connor Shaw. There's just so many names that's going through the University of South Carolina that are still around the University of South Carolina. The alumni shows up. You don't have a crackhead Michael Irvin on the sideline winding up some kind of damn siren that he was used to hearing all the time when he was at the University of Miami when the cops was coming looking for all their asses for out in the strip clubs and shit, partying it up. But yeah, I mean, there's just South Carolina's more family, and always will be more family than the University of Miami. Will anybody come knocking for Lanorris? I don't know. We don't even know who the offensive coordinator for South Carolina will be next year. If Lanorris doesn't decide to go pro, if he were to decide to come back, I think a big part of that would be who's going to be the offensive coordinator at South Carolina. I think Lanorris would want to know that whoever's coming in is going to be someone that can dial up an offense that fits his skill set. And that would be anyone. You know, a lot of fans are out on Lanorris right now. He can't see the field. And he has made a lot of mistakes. And I defended Lanorris a lot in this. And there's a lot of times you can defend him. And then there's times you really can't. He's made some bad throws, missed some wide open throws. No quarterback is perfect. You just look at Chambliss. Actually, if you looked at the numbers, Lanorris outplayed Trinidad Chambliss from Ole Miss. And Chambliss was a hot name and how well he's doing and he's killing it and all that. No, Lanorris actually had better numbers than Chambliss last week. They weren't great, neither one of them. And it happens, right? We see quarterbacks all the time. Defenses are set up to stop quarterbacks. You're not always going to have a great game. You're not always going to be perfect. You're not going to hit every pass. Which the guy from Tulane last night, Ratliff, if you watch that game, boy, he was pretty much on it for most of that game. That kid was playing his ass off in an offense that looked like it'd be very good for a guy like Lanorris Sellers that let the quarterback run. The kid Brown over here at USF. Shit. Thursday night, kid played his ass off, and hell, that guy and Lanorris are very comparable. I think Lanorris is a better athlete, but size-wise, skill sets, a lot the same. That's the type of offense you got to get Lanorris in. That's the type of offensive coordinator you got to go out and find for him. And they say that's the Tennessee offense. They don't run it anything like Tennessee, because Tennessee has never run a quarterback as much as USF does. Not in the history of me watching them anyway. Hendon Hooker was not a runner. Joe Milton, not really known for his running ability. Nico, not a runner. Joey Aguilar, not a runner. USF is doing it a little bit different. Now they run Tennessee tempo, yes. Do they spread out their wide receivers a little bit? Yes. It's kind of designed that way, but they have a ton more designed quarterback run in that USF offense because they play to the strength of the players on the field, and their quarterback is their best player on the field. Hint to Shane Beamer and whoever he's thinking about hiring as an offensive coordinator. People think, well, does it have to be? Everybody has a different opinion. Look, you can take 10 people and set them in a room and nobody's going to agree on anything. I learned that a long time ago. So no matter who the hire is, you're going to have naysayers. You're going to have people that don't like it because he's not young, or maybe he's too young. He's not proven enough. This guy's on his last leg and should retire. You hear all kinds of opinions. You're going to get all kinds of opinion. Well, one thing, generations are very different, right? What some 20-year-olds are going to think is the best offense coordinator for South Carolina, not going to be the same as us 50-year-olds. Hiring some young name that somebody, if he does really good, somebody's going to come snatch him away in a year or two. A bigger brand will want to come take him away, or you get an older guy. There's all kind of names floated around, and hell, the offense coordinators average from the age of lower 30s to in their 60s. Guys like Petrino and guys like Malzahn, who's probably in his 50s. I don't know exactly how old he is. To the Davis guy there at North Texas, and I'm like, man, one good year of offense, and everybody wants to hire the guy, and he's not even calling plays against SEC defenses. Let's slow down a little bit on some of that stuff, man. You got to get someone that has some damn grit to them and been in the battles and the wars and kind of know what not to do. You just can't bring any offense in. You know, when we brought up Jake Spavital, brought up Kendall Browse. These guys were in the SEC, y'all. And they played and had pretty successful offenses in the SEC against SEC defenses. So let's slow our roll a little bit on people from East Carolina or North Texas, and they're not playing SEC defenses, my friends. They just are not. But anyway, I rambled on enough about this shit. But it's horse shit. Lanorris Sellers to Miami, in my eyes, I'm telling you, it will be a disaster waiting to happen. And y'all can tell me I'm an idiot. Y'all can tell me I'm stupid. But I'm telling you, if you ain't spent more time in Miami than I have, he's not a cultural fit. Anyway, y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Roosters out. Peace.